stereotype. They had a classic stereotype for preachers for years. They said, well, all preachers like fried chicken. If you want fried chicken, one preacher, give fried chicken. He like fried chicken. But that has changed now. It's all now a monetary thing. Things about being seen, and not about the wealth. The purpose of the church. The purpose of the church is the getting ready room. This is the dressing room right here. You're supposed to put on Jesus Christ. But getting back to what I'm saying about in preparation and being meticulous, and same thing with God. God expects the best. He gives the best. So if he gives the best and he demands, if we don't come exactly the way God said come, then why is it that we'll find more than before that church and the folks in the church are giving God what they want God to have?
That's right. Amen.
Hello, somebody.
Amen.
And if you go, I want to give you a little quick point. If you go in Genesis and read after the dispensation of innocence and during conscience, after Adam, because when Adam and Eve had sinned, it ushered in conscience. And you'll find during the time that God gave Adam the law, because Adam was the first prophet in the Bible, God gave him the law. He told him to go, his job was to make sure, he told his family what God required, but he neglected to go into detail to tell Eve specifically everything that God required. Adam was in such a place with God that he had a set time and a set place to meet God at a certain time. Because man was in the presence of God all the time. But during the dispensation of innocence, and after conscience rather, when man had sinned, God gave a law, and God, after he slew the animal, clothed them, and drove them out of the garden, he gave law and told him to tell his sons that he required a blood sacrifice. Cain and Abel were a typical type of righteousness and self-righteousness.
That's right.
We'll find the righteous and give you in New Testament when Jesus said himself to us, he said, straight is the gate, and narrow is the path, and a few will find it. Broad is the way that lead and destruction, many will find it. The reason we're traveling because why people are trying to give God what they want God to have again, not seek God after God required them and what way he required them to go. And see, and it's the same thing with church. People are coming to church giving God just lip service. And I find more than ever before. I went into the Caribbean. I tell people we have a testimony. We were ministering in St. Kitts last year. And we have had an experience, a supernatural experience that I tell folks they need to see things like this for themselves. We were there ministering, and this woman was from Guyana, worshiping, and she was worshiping idols because I didn't know nothing about her. The brother that took me around, his name was Desmond as well. And he told me, he said, let me tell you, Prof, he said, that lady that you prayed for comes from the background of idol worship. And she was so full of demons that the demons began to cause her belly to blow up like a balloon right before our very eyes.
That's right.
And the demons began to talk out of her because God began to reveal to me through the word of knowledge. And I said, I see a room with idols. And I see all these candles around the idols and they're lit. And the demons were saying yes. And I said, but I'm going to ask God to destroy the altar. When the Lord had me to say that, the demons began to cry out of her with such a loud voice that people that had never seen that got scared. And then that's when her belly started swelling. And the people said, did you see her belly? Her belly began to grow right before our eyes. But it showed you how, even in the foreign parts of the country, of the world, how people are coming, trying to go to God their way.
That's right.
Cain gave God what God did not demand. Cain gave the first fruit. God required law was the first fruit offering.
That's it.
In the law, God told that he was a God that did not demand human